How's it going, everyone? I am back, and I've definitely been bummed that I haven't gotten a chance to post more videos for you guys. Some exciting things are happening though. I've had the opportunity to work on some of the most diverse projects I ever have, and I'm ready to show you some of the new things that I've been implementing. So if you find these tips helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more music production related content. But for now, let's get into today's video. What I want to share with you today is not so much an audio engineering technique, but something that will help you to more efficiently mix, master, or compose the music you are working on, and that is session organization. Now, as you know, I work in Pro Tools, so that's what I will be demonstrating in, but the same ideas regularly apply to DAWs like Ableton and Logic as well, so no DAW discrimination here, just some general tips to keep your session looking clean and functional. So why is organization so important? Organization of your session allows you to cut down significantly on the number of actions you have to perform to get a certain task done. Either it be being able to find the area an edit needs to be made quickly, making changes to multiple tracks at once, or detailing out what needs to be done further down the road. Session organization can quite literally make the mixing experience miles more efficient, and I want to share with you the tactics that I have recently been using to organize my sessions and speed up my mixing workflow. The first of these tips is rather simple, but I want to explain my methodology. I always color code my tracks. At least in Pro Tools, the title of each track is almost always compressed or abbreviated down into something unintelligible in both mix and edit windows. So this is where it helps me exponentially to color code my tracks. Over the years, I have found that I definitely relate certain instruments to certain colors, and this helps even more. For example, I can just glimpse at my session, see the color red, and know that I'm looking at my bass track or some bass related track without even thinking. Yellow is always drums related, green for guitar, blue for vocals, purple for piano, so on and so forth. And when the mix starts to get really busy with different auxiliary tracks like snare, reverb, and bus compressions, I always color code those tracks with a different shade of what is being sent to that track. Maybe a darker shade of yellow for the drum bus compression or a lighter shade of purple for the vocal delay. Do you see where I'm going with this? After a while, this kind of thing trains your brain and you can simply glimpse at the tracks and know what you're looking at. Even though it seems like a small thing to add to your workflow, I found it to be incredibly helpful and improve the efficiency of my workflow. Organizational tip number 2, master how you use groups. Now, this is something that is going to change a little bit from DAW to DAW, but it's something every software has. Groups are your best friends when it comes to mixing larger sessions. There is also a lot more to master beyond just learning how to group several tracks together. Obviously, this is the first thing you should be doing, grouping like tracks together so that you can adjust them as one instead of independently. But how do I normally use groups? Well, beyond the obvious, which I just mentioned, grouping something like the drums together, kick, snare, and the overheads, I will also group any track that has its own separate auxiliary track as well. So for example, if I have my snare and my snare reverb, I will group these in their own separate group, apart from the drums as well. Name it something like snare FX group. My group list always tends to get really long, but once you master how to switch between groups and know those key commands, you will start to have so much more defined control over your mix and not have to adjust one fader at a time. However, sometimes you might find that you do just want to change one level within a specific group. So there is one command that I have found to be incredibly useful in my workflow. Shift-Command-G in Pro Tools allows you to toggle your groups on and off so that you can adjust the full group or just a single track within a group in an instant. I'm not sure what the key command for this in other DAWs is, but I'd assume option clicking on a group would have a similar result. Let me know in the comments what DAW you use and if you know the key command for this action. This is great for when you realize down the road that you may need to change the level of one element within a group, which happens for me quite often. My third tip for you is more along the lines of a whole organizational practice, and this is track labeling and file management. File management is very important as to know where each and every file that you are using is within your computer. Labeling these files accordingly can also help in recalling the exact file that you need within a much shorter time. Regarding where your files are being saved, it doesn't matter so much as to have a specific place to save them, but to at least know where they are going and being deliberate about where you save them. Simply doing this can help you find them in an occasion that you need the original file. This being said, why might you need the original file? This is where correct track labeling can also be of great benefit. Say you need to time align one of your tracks. Before you jump right into it, it is smart to save a version of the track before you go through this process, just in case something goes wrong during the time alignment process. Labeling your tracks as snare pre-alignment and snare post-alignment will make it clear which track was the original and which one was the process track. The final portion that I want to mention about this process is actually naming these tracks before you record. The reason is because the clip that you record will automatically be named according to what that track is called at the time. If the track is labeled Audio 1, then that clip will also be named Audio 1.1, 1.2, so on and so forth. And trust me, I've done this so much, and relocating tracks on your computer like this is a nightmare. So always name your tracks before you record. The next thing that I want to talk about is leaving comments or notes. Usually your DAW should have this in some form or another, and I believe it is a great habit to get into. Either it be for just leaving yourself a reminder to fix something later on, or for extra information for the person you'll be passing the mix on to. Leaving comments and notes can help to solidify the needs of the mix for whoever is working on it, and it can definitely help you if you're the kind of person who tends to forget things. Trust me, it happens to the best of us. My fifth and final tip that I want to bring up is session markers. Labeling where changes happen in the song can help make navigating a complex tune really easy. I have even gone as far as creating markers for inconsistent drum hits, chord changes, production ideas, and places that are necessary to re-record. It really helps to have an easy way to view the whole timeline of the session. Even if you just label the starts of intros, verses, and choruses, you will find yourself spending a lot less time scrolling throughout the session searching for that particular change. I've currently been working on a song that has over 60 audio tracks, with choruses, brass and string ensembles, and the normal rock quartet. Through this project, I have been learning the hard way that organization is key in getting a mix of this or even less caliber done in an efficient manner. I hope you can apply these tips to your projects, big or small, because regardless of if you need them in your sessions or not, they are good habits to practice for when you find yourself working on a large and unorganized project. Let me know if you have any other techniques to keeping a large session in control. I hope everyone is having a good day, and I will see you in the next video.